All right, so moving on to the final segment, I'll be sharing my game prediction for this weekend's matchup between the number 9 ranked LSU Tigers going on the road to play the number 4 ranked Clemson Tigers. This is going to be a big matchup for Labor Day weekend in college football. They're going to get the nod to get the primetime Saturday night matchup this weekend as well deserved, because this could be one of the best games in college football this weekend. So these are my storylines heading into this upcoming college football game. Can Brian Kelly bring success to LSU? We all know the story. Brian Kelly used to be the former head coach of Notre Dame. He's been playing with the big dogs, the best competition that college football has to offer in the SEC. Since Brian Kelly has been the head coach with the LSU Tigers, he's went 3-6 against ranked opponents. Recruited, now I will say LSU did recruit well during the offseason, and they did bring in talent during the transfer portal. So you want the big game? They got the big game. This is their chance to prove that they're not pretenders, they're contenders. They got a big task at hand going on the road to play the Clemson Tigers this weekend in college football. So we're going to see what the LSU Tigers are made of. This is going to be a true test for Brian Kelly and his quest to bring success back to Death Valley for the LSU Tigers. Then another storyline is this really feels like a must-win for both teams. Both of them are ranked. There could be some ramifications of how the committee views both of these teams with a loss, depending on how you lose this game. Both teams are loaded, and Dabo Swinney has been around the block for a long time. He's a former national champion with the Clemson Tigers. Brian Kelly has been around for a long time, too. Both of these head coaches are hungry for success. Both teams have one of the best quarterbacks in the country, Garrett Nussmeier for LSU. Cade Klubnik for Clemson. So Clemson also has upgraded their roster as well at the running back positions, the wide receiver room, the offensive line. They got a solid defense. So we're going to see what these two teams are made of heading into Saturday night's primetime game. Now, the following game plans that I have for these respective teams to follow. Start off with Clemson. I think Clemson's got to establish the run. They got to be violent up front in the trenches, control the flow of the game, choose the time off the clock to throw LSU's offense off rhythm. If we could do that, Clemson has a really strong chance of winning this game. We know the star power, the firepower that Clemson's offenses possess. But what if you can run the football, chew the clock down, and keep their defense fatigued and tired, keeping them on the field as you move the ball down the field with establishing the run to open up the playbook for Cade Klubnik as the game goes on. Which gets into my next game plan for Clemson. Open up the playbook for Cade Klubnik. LSU did not do a good job at stopping the run, or stopping running quarterbacks the last season. Texas, you look at who they played that had dual threat quarterbacks. They had Texas A&M. They played against Texas A&M. Alabama that had Jalen Milroe, South Carolina. So Cade Klubnik is a good dual threat quarterback that can make plays with his arm, make plays with his leg. So I think this is going to be very effective for Cade Klubnik to get going and for Clemson to open up the playbook for their young, talented quarterback to have one of the best games that he could possibly have this upcoming college football season. Then for LSU, I think Garrett Nussmeier, a game plan for them, Gary Nussmeier needs to control the pace of the LSU's offense. Now, it's going to be very important for LSU to start off fast with their foot on the gas pedal and never look back, because if they don't, they could be in a world of trouble. And this is going to be an important game plan, too, for LSU to play clean mistake football with no penalties on that offensive side of the ball. Keep it clean as possible, because if you have the penalties, that puts you back in yardage. You have the turnovers. That helps Clemson's defense get the turnover to possibly help Cade Klubnik and the Clemson Tigers offense cash in on points. The offensive line must protect Garrett Nussmeier up front. They got to put the offense in good situations. No third and long situations. No LSU playing catch-up, because if they have to play catch-up in this game, I think that's going to result in a loss for them. So they got to play clean, mistake-free football, and Garrett Nussmeier has to control the pace of the offense offensively for them at the quarterback position. But with that being said, this is going to be a close game. I'm going to go with Clemson to win this game by a score of 27-24. This is going to be a game that comes down to the final quarter and could be decided by which team has the ball last. But I think whoever, and also who makes the best defensive plays in the fourth quarter will help their team win the game. But I just trust the quarterback and head coaching duo, Labor Day weekend, of Cade Klubnik and Dabo Swinney to pull it off against Brian Kelly and Garrett Nussmeier. I think the fact that Clemson is going to be well prepared for this game, they've improved all across the board on offense. They got a really solid defense, and I think Clemson is going to run the football. I think they're going to be violent in the trenches. They're going to set the tone in the game early and open up the playbook for Cade Klubnik to do his thing in the RPO system as a dual threat quarterback. Meanwhile, LSU's defense has struggled against dual threat quarterbacks last year. Again, when they played against Texas A&M, they struggled Labor Day weekend last year. When they played against Alabama, they struggled against Jalen Milroe. South Carolina, they struggled against dual threat quarterbacks on the defensive side of the ball last year. And then one of the reasons why I'm going to pick Clemson is the fact that I cannot trust Brian Kelly and LSU Labor Day weekend. LSU has actually lost their last 5 season openers on Labor Day weekend, and they have yet to win a Labor Day weekend game with Brian Kelly since he's been the head coach of the team since 2022. So I don't think they're going to be good enough Saturday night to go on the road and defeat the 4th-ranked Clemson Tigers on the road. I like Clemson winning a really close ball game by a score of 27-24 Saturday night in college football. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.